We have an exciting week this week. I think our team's excited about going to a place we've never been. I'm excited about going to a place I've never been. It's always a great experience to play in a stadium like they have and an atmosphere like they have. That's really fun. That's really fun for coaches, really fun for competitors. Now, the bad part of it is they're a pretty good football team. They got a couple first-round draft choices on defense. They got a Heisman Trophy candidate at quarterback. They've got really good receivers and really good running backs, and they're a perfect Big Ten team. They're gigantic on both sides of the line of scrimmage. So it's quite a challenge, quite an opportunity, but it's an exciting deal. You know, it's fun to go to stadiums where they have 100,000 people, and it doesn't matter if you're the victim or not. It's really fun to be in that kind of atmosphere.
What's the best college town you've played in?
College town or a stadium?
Both.
I don't know. I have two favorites, Tennessee and Oregon. They're the two loudest places. Well, I take that back, but one was a pro stadium. Seattle, where the Seahawks play, and we played Washington a couple years ago. That's probably the loudest stadium I've ever played in. But college stadiums, it was Tennessee and Oregon, and that was fun both times. Oregon, I've been there several times, but that's fun every time. Their stadium's not gigantic, but they're right on top of you. It's loud. They can reach out and touch the guys on the bench. It's kind of a fun thing, except sometimes the players want to go up in the stands after them, but that's a...
Rocky, Aztecs historically, Notre Dame, Michigan, Ohio State, Oklahoma, have played really well on the road and not caved in. That a critical piece of this equation?
I don't know exactly what you're asking. I mean, there has been times when we've been on the road that we've played well, and there's been times we've been on the road that we haven't played well. I've been told that there's been a long, long time since anybody's beat one of those kind of teams on the road. I've been told that many times. So I went back and looked. I want you to tell me when the last time it happened was on the road. You tell me. I went back and looked. It's really hard to find, you know.
Beat what? A Power 5 team on the road?
Yeah, it depends on what you call a Power 5 team.
99 Kansas is the lead.
99? At Kansas? Were they any good at that time or not? Because it doesn't matter now. I mean, you can justify that however you want to justify it. I mean, when's the last time we beat a ranked team on the road? Just a couple years ago. Boise State at Boise. But that doesn't count. You know, that doesn't matter. That doesn't count because they're not traditional powers in somebody's mind. I don't know whose mind it is, but that one don't count. So until we beat one of those boys that everybody else thinks is a big boy on the road, it doesn't count. Just ask.
You seem a little angry about
I'm not angry at all. I'm just, it's interesting what reality is and what people's opinion is.
Rocky, how does Saturday's loss affect the team's confidence going into this football game? And would it be any different had you won that game against South Alabama?
Yes, I think we'd be more confident if we'd won the game, yes. That's just, that's natural. So I think we go in the game with our confidence has been shaken. That doesn't change the excitement of going and having a chance to play in that environment and having a chance to win. The only time you don't have a chance to win is when you don't play. That's the only time you don't have a chance.
Can you talk about Hackenberg, the quarterback, what you've seen on video?
I see a classic drop-back pro-style quarterback. He moves around. He's big. He's got a strong arm. He moves around in the pocket where he can find passing lanes, but he's not ever looking to run or scramble. So it's more of a classic style quarterback. And they are running. The first week of the season, they tried to be a spread team and lost. They are no longer trying to be a spread team. Now they're trying to be a pro team. And they're pounding the ball and using play-action pass more than they did the first game of the year. So they've gone back more traditional. So he's more in his type of system rather than the spread system. He's not a spread quarterback.
Is Barkley a load at running back?
He is. He was very impressive in the last game. They kind of alternated running backs up until the last game, and then he got most of the carries last week. According to the statistics, he's 5'11", about 220 or something, or 222. He's got big legs. He's hard to bring down one-on-one. Breaks a lot of arm tackles. Got good speed, not great speed, but good speed.
Your run defense, one, obviously they've seen a lot of pro style in practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then two, do you feel like the run defense has been up to par thus far? And if so or if not, why or why not? How do you look at how the run defense has been?
I don't think our run defense has been tested as far as the way you're describing it. We've played spread teams. So you choose what you want them to do, basically. I mean, you try to put everybody in coverage to try to keep them from throwing the ball. Your run defense is very suspect because you don't have enough guys in there to stop the run. If you put enough guys in there, this is the reason the spread is so successful, by the way. You put enough guys in there to be really sound against the run, and then you've got a lot of holes out there in coverage. So what we do and what most people do is they try to do both. They try to disguise things and make it look like you're not playing coverage, and it looks like you have enough guys in the box to stop the run, so they decide to throw it, and then you bust out of there and play a coverage. Or you show them coverage, and they look out there and they count their numbers because it's a count system. They count their numbers, and they say, well, they don't have enough guys in here, let's run it. And by the time they snap the ball and run it, you have enough guys in the box to stop the run. So it's kind of fun. I mean, it's fun on the board. The X and O part of it's really fun to try to scheme so that you win most of those battles. Sometimes the other team gets the best of you. And then sometimes you're not hitting it at the same time, and then sometimes they're just better than you are. It doesn't matter how many guys you put in the box or how many guys you put in coverage. It doesn't matter. Sometimes they're just better than you. And what has happened with the spread is you have a lot of one-on-one tackles in the open field. We gave up a long run last week because we had a running back on a DB in about a 5-yard square because they blocked everybody else, and the DB missed a tackle, and the guy went 70 yards, and we have terrible run defense. Because the rest of the night, the run defense was okay. But the average per carry is terrible, so we had terrible run defense. So it's all your perception of things. It's all your perception. You can make statistics say whatever you want. We have not been tested in this kind of running game yet. And they don't really care how many guys you put in the box. So we're going to put a bunch of them in there and see if we're good enough to hang in there and keep the game close.
See, they don't care because they feel like they've got the physical.
They feel like they have the advantage physically up front and at running back. They're big and strong, and they figure they're going to block you, and then the running back's going to have a one-on-one tackle, and he's going to run over you. And that's worked the last 2 weeks for him. Worked really good the last 2 weeks.
How do you think your linemen and linebackers match up against a line of that size?
Size-wise, it's not even close. They're a lot bigger. Now, we'll see. We'll see. That doesn't always mean that the outcome is going to be in that direction. We'll see. I mean, I don't have any idea. I think we got good players. I think we got tough guys. I think we'll stand up and fight. Let's see if we're good enough.
How would you think Jake's going to be this week? What word do you get on him?
Oh, he's fine. I mean, he was cleared yesterday. I mean, we had a short practice and just helmets yesterday, but he went through the whole practice. So, he's ready to go.
And any other injuries that have come up?
Dakota Turner has a bad shoulder, but he should be okay. Nico Saragusa has an ankle sprain, but he should be okay. Everybody else is basically that wasn't out before. We're not getting anybody back, but everybody else is okay.
Christian Hayward, how was his performance coming back?
It was rusty, and I don't know exactly how many snaps he got. He probably got about a third of the game, so he'll get more reps this week. We're hoping he can play half the game, and we hope he's better because he's actually played now. We hope he plays at a better level.
Rocky, can you talk about what you saw to Lloyd Mills on Saturday and then how that impacts his part with the team?
I thought Lloyd had a great game, and I think it really helped our team. He's been kind of struggling with leg injuries, different kinds of leg injuries. But he did a really nice job. Now, all 11 guys did a really nice job on the punt returns. The guys blocking for him did a great job where they gave him a chance to get started. And then he's good with the ball in his hands. He found the seams and, made some guys miss and outran some guys. And I thought it was a huge momentum shift in the game that actually gave us a chance to win. I thought the play he made, if you've seen replays of that, and I saw a bunch of them last night because we were doing the TV show, the play he makes on the reverse pass back to the quarterback is as good a football play as I've ever seen. I mean, he's left-handed. It was designed for him to run a reverse, get about midfield, stop, and throw the ball back to the quarterback. And he throws it okay, but he's left-handed, so it was done that way. He's got the ball in his right hand. He gets tackled. He's going to the ground. While he's going to the ground, he shifts the ball from his right hand to his left hand and throws it up, and it's right on target to the quarterback for a touchdown. I mean, you can pick some plays that are as good as that on highlights. You can't pick one better than that. I mean, that was an amazing play. So I think he helped a lot.
Rocky, considering Maxwell Smith's all that experience at Kentucky, you surprised he's still struggling with consistency?
I'm a little surprised. Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I thought going in that it would take him a little while, maybe not quite this long. I thought it would take a little while, though, because he played a lot, but he didn't play the last 2 years. So it takes you a while to get back into things, and every individual's different. Some make a quick transition, some don't. I'm a little surprised. I thought it would be faster than this. But I'm positive because I thought he looked much better in this last game. He had a while there that he wasn't very good, but overall, and late in the game, he did the best job of the whole game was late in the game when he took a ball down the field and scored and put us ahead by 3. That was his best drive of the season so far, so that's a positive sign.
When you determined that he's not playing well in stretches, I mean, some of it's obvious to us and some of it's not. On reads or checkdowns or whatever, what is he not doing that you need?
He's missed some reads, and he's missed a couple wide open passes that are not hard throws. Sometimes you miss because it's a very tight window and it has to be almost a perfect throw to get it in there. And sometimes you miss it, and that's not okay, but it's kind of okay. I mean, it's a harder throw. But there was a couple times last Saturday where we had a potential of a big play, and the guy's not covered, and we missed the throw.
And when you say he missed the throw, he didn't throw the ball?
No, he threw
He
it.
missed on
He
the throw.
he missed the accuracy of the throw.
I'm trying to remember what, is there?
Well, there's a crossing route to Pumphrey that's going to be a 60-something yard touchdown pass on 3rd and about 4, and he throws it behind him.
Why is DJ averaging less than 4 yards per carry when he had 6.8 last year, in your estimation, when you look at the film through the first 3 games?
We're not blocking the line of scrimmage as well.
Is it on the offensive line, or do you need help from your receivers to block to get him longer runs? Is it a 9 or 10-man blocking unit, or is it a 5-man blocking
No,
unit?
receivers have something to do with it, and actually the receivers are blocking a little bit better than they did last year. Most of it is we're not giving him as big a seams as we did last year, because people are playing us just like they did last year. And so the one guy that is a linebacker or a safety that is in the hole has a much smaller area to make the tackle in, so there's not as much room for DJ to make him miss. It's as simple as that. So if you give him another yard of space in there, he makes people miss, and those 3 and 4 yard runs turn into 15, 20, 25 yard runs. So the holes, the seams are there. They're not as big a seams as they were last year. So the guy that's in the spot making the one-on-one tackle is making it now, where last year half the time he got juked.
Do you think
It's a very simple. I mean, there's no guessing on what it is. That's what it is.
Do you think the size of the seams is kind of dependent on the play calls of the actual runs? Because it's a different coordinator. He's probably running different.
The running plays are exactly the same as last year. Yeah. And it means that the offensive line is getting on the right people because there is a seam there. We're not getting the same movement as we got last year. And if you want to be realistic, there's a reason for that too. There's 3 new offensive starters in the offensive line. 2 of them did not play 1 snap last year. The center and one of the guards did not play 1 snap last year, and one of the tackles played about 15 snaps last year. Okay, now I think they're physically able, but they're not near as skilled as that group last year that had nothing but experienced players in the offensive line. And a couple of those guys got kicked off the team for various reasons, or they'd be here right now. That's interesting too, isn't it?
Rocky, Darrell Green's suspension devastating, and will he be back at all this season?
He's suspended for the first 6 games, so he'll be back this last half of the season.
Did your receivers play better as a unit, getting open, separation, once you looked at the film, the kinds of things that you've been working on?
Yeah, a little bit. Not dramatically.
Not to where they need to be.
No, not to where they need to be. A little bit. I mean, the 1 touchdown pass we throw, Mike Holder does a really nice job of separating from that DB. Almost made him fall down.
When you took over as head coach, if someone had told you that 4 years later you'd have a 700 winning percentage against your conference teams, would you have taken it?
Would I've no. I'm never satisfied. I mean, you're my mentality, and I hope our players' mentality is we want to win every game. So winning 70% of them, I'm glad you got a good stat. I've been looking for a good stat. 70% of the league games? Is that what it is?
You're 20-10 in conference as a coach.
That's not too bad. I mean, that's not too bad. That's pretty good. I would guess it compared to the 15 years before me, that might be really, really good. Just for argument's sake. No, that's not. I'm not into that. I'm into winning conference championships and trying to win every game. And until we win every game, or we win, now I mean, if we win the conference championship this year, I'll be pretty happy. If we won every game, I'd probably retire, because I don't think it gets better than that.
A couple of years ago, you lost to Eastern Illinois early, and I think to the general fan base, that was a very disappointing loss. That team ended up, your team that year ended up winning a bowl game. Can you compare how that team bounced back from that early season disappointment to perhaps what this team needs to do to bounce back from an early season disappointment?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because, I mean, we're in a similar situation right now. Now, I think we're playing a lot better team this week than we did after that game that year. We're playing a lot better team, but I think that this shows the character of your players. You know, I'm the same coach, and we're coaching them the exact same way. And our motivation techniques and our patting them on the back and telling them they're okay and trying to give them a better scheme that gives them a better chance to win. I mean, that is all being done the same way. I have a lot of confidence in this group of kids, but you never know how young people are going to react to any kind of situation. That team decided that they were going to go to work and get better, and they made a bad thing happen to them into a good thing. This year's group has the exact same situation in front of them. I really like our players. I think they're great kids, and I expect them to do the same thing. Do I know they're going to do the same thing? I have no idea. I think they came into the season expecting to win every game.
Do you think outside expectations are unrealistic, or people don't have the patience to kind of watch something develop, or how do you look at that?
I think that most everybody has unrealistic, you know, are unrealistic about their expectations. I think most people. I don't think just about sports. I think most people expect things to be better than they are. And then there's two ways people handle those things. And I'm not just talking about games. Some people get mad and get depressed and go off the deep end. Some people just resign themselves to it and just live with being a little unhappy because their expectation level is not met. And then other people, it makes them mad, and they go to work and try to make it better. So I think we're that third group. Things aren't going like everybody wanted them to go. That's no different than, I promise you, that the 115 players I have on the team are more disappointed than anybody in this room or anybody in this town or anybody in this country. They're more disappointed than anybody else can be. They're just part of the team, so they can't talk about it. They gotta put on a front.
You're disappointed the paper would write a column saying that you're not getting the job done?
Am I disappointed? No, I'm not disappointed. Everybody's got their own opinion. As long as I can have mine, everybody deserves to have their own opinion.
What's your opinion on what they wrote?
Oh, I think that it's baloney. I mean, there's no facts to prove anything that he said. I mean, I just told you, the big deal is not winning a big game on the road. The big deal is not winning a big game on the road. I think it was just 3 years ago we beat the 17th ranked team on the road that everybody else in the country considers a Power 5 team, even though they're not in a Power 5 league. Everybody else in the country considers them a Power 5 team. They go to Fiesta Bowls and everything else. I mean, I guess my perception of that's different than somebody else's.
How do you make San Diego State the next Boise or TCU?
I hate to be honest. Spend the same amount of money they do. Have the same resources they do. I'd like to say something philosophical, but I have trouble not telling the truth because I'm not smart enough to tell a lie and remember the lie I said.